the summer of 1991, famed music producer Butch Vig sat poolside at the infamous Oakwood Apartments. Butch watched the glossy hair metal band Europe, high on their massive hit single, The Final Countdown, frolic in the pool with their shiny entourage. Little did they know that the cassette tape in the inner pocket of Butch's denim vest would drive the nail into the coffin of their musical genre. You see, Butch had spent the past week recording Nirvana's second album, Nevermind. This was a whole new sound, and as soon as the kids heard it, the whole zeitgeist would turn on a dime. The distance between Madison Square Garden and Casino Rama is 918 kilometers, but you can get there overnight. Like music, elections are also cultural snapshots for which the zeitgeist can turn on a dime. What tone piques our collective interest? What policies speak to the prevailing mood? Who catches our attention and holds it? The Liberals seem to know that they are currently out of step with the moment. Polling shows them bleeding support. Pulling former Bank of Canada Governor Mark Carney into the Liberal fold is a sign they're trying to give Canadians a new reason to be excited about them. Many see Carney as a possible future Liberal leader, the party's great hope. Despite polls, such hope is not necessarily misplaced. Dramatic changes of political fate are possible. We are watching this unfold in real time in America. Donald Trump's angry tirade is finally wearing thin. His tone is losing its resonance. He sounds like yesterday. It's why Kamala Harris will be the next president of the United States of America. American culture is escorting her into the Oval Office. When Miss Harris stepped onto the stage for her first speech as presidential candidate to Beyonce's song Freedom blaring from the loudspeakers, you probably thought to yourself, oh wow, this feels new. That was the moment. That's how it works. Millions of people simultaneously noticing a shift. That's the feeling that sends a hit song screaming up the charts. That's the feeling every political candidate longs to spark. It's the feeling that the opponent dreads. Donald Trump has a pitch-perfect cultural antenna. From his couch, he knew he was watching Kamala Harris catch the zeitgeist live on Fox News. The distance between the White House and Mar-a-Lago is 1,604 kilometers, but you can get there overnight. The events south of the border have raised the stakes here in Canada. It is obvious that folks have tired of the current federal government. Polls have given the Conservative Party a whopping 219 seats to the Liberals' 68 if a vote were held today. Yet those same polls indicate Canadians are still unsure about the leadership of all three national parties. The question for supporters of a progressive agenda becomes, can the tune change? Of course it can, but it would have to be a complete overhaul. An economic agenda that is laser focused on creating prosperity. It means driving productivity throughout the ranks of the entire economy. The more it costs to make stuff, the higher the price for the person pushing a cart down the aisle of Sobeys or Home Hardware. Progressives have, for too long, ignored the issue of productivity, as it invariably leads to some folks losing jobs. But not being a productive economy creates a huge levy on the entire system. It costs Canadian farmers more to grow wheat and Canadian manufacturers more to produce goods of all sorts from just last year. These costs are passed on to the consumer, which is, everybody. This is having a negative impact on our quality of life. A poorer Canada means a less generous Canada. That's what we are facing now. Meanwhile, Canadians are hungry for new choices, for a never mind moment. We're being herded into a false dichotomy. Tax the rich or axe the tax. Progressives have ceded the high ground by dogmatically pursuing a strategy of income redistribution. Bring some folks down a notch and some folks up a notch to land in an imposed median. I would argue that this is regressive liberalism. Progressive liberalism should strive to elevate every person to realize the finest version of themselves, whatever that may be. Armed with an educational social net designed to retrain and to get folks back out where they want to be as quickly as possible. This is what a dynamic, compassionate society looks like. An economy that embraces and financially incentivizes technology and digitization. A collection of 13 provinces and territories that have actual free and unrestricted trade. Interprovincial tariffs should be seen for what they are, barriers to a more prosperous country. Selling your goods and services to Winnipeggers, Haligonians, or Montrealers should cost you the same. This is the best way for Canadians to come to know each other. Or take the construction industry. A patchwork of regulations from town to town and from province to province invariably leads to a cottage industry. If 2 workers in the average construction company call in sick, productivity plummets 10% that day. It's hard to believe our housing crisis isn't more acute than it is today. Building homes outside, one at a time, in Canada's climate will not get us anywhere near our housing requirement. Incentives for a modern, modular construction industry building homes at scale to a harmonized building code and regulatory regime is the only way to make a dent in this most pressing of problems. We can't solve much else without getting folks an adequate roof over their heads. These are the issues Canadians care about, yet the progressive political parties are failing to propose solutions that resonate. Only once they pull Canadians out of the false dichotomy on offer will a new cultural moment take hold. Is Mark Carney the leader to do it? Could he catch the zeitgeist and spark the political imagination of Canadians? On paper, it sure looks like he could. For starters, Mr. Carney is one of the world's most respected economists. From the helm of the Bank of Canada and subsequently the Bank of England, Mr. Carney has driven economic policy internationally. The Bank of England has thousands of employees, and his leadership oversaw the most choppy of economic waters. World leaders most certainly see him as a key voice, serving as the UN Special Envoy on climate action and finance. This is, it seems to me, a serious voice of economic stewardship that could resonate with folks who are worried about their economic well-being and Canada's financial standing. That seems like most of us. We are fed up with wedge politics, carrots for some, like 30-year amortized mortgages for new home buyers if you were under 30, or divisive sticks for all, like defund the CBC. Both of these political tactics are wearing thin. They sound like yesterday. The person who claims the mantle of advancing serious policy that is good for everyone is going to be the next Prime Minister of Canada. Mr. Carney is lending his stellar economic reputation to Mr. Trudeau, but this is a very delicate dance. I'm sure that both men are clear-eyed about their newly established working relationship. Both know that inserting a new leader at the tail end of a government is an incredibly difficult task. Kim Campbell went from 154 seats to 2. UK Prime Minister Rishi Sunak went from 344 to 121. In politics, when your voice falls on deaf ears, the gig is up. As with all things cultural, the medium is the message. It's been a historic tour, but the show must go on. The distance between the Bank of Canada and the office of the Prime Minister is 500 meters.